Going live. And welcome everybody to what is undoubtedly the last of the year, the 2022 World Formula One Championship race from Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. It's another one of these places which I don't fucking know where it is. Right? And should we be there, Fabio? Should we be there at Abu Dhabi?
Well, listen, I love the fact that you started the stream slightly racist. But yeah.
Obviously, casual racism.
Obviously, yeah.
It's
Casual
slightly different.
racism.
I'm not sure you can be racist to somebody who is at least 30% your race, but anyway.
Yeah.
There we go. I suppose you can. I hate white people as well, so there you go, I guess. Okay, so some of my favourite hating people are white people, in fact. But anyway, there you go. Hello and welcome. I didn't mean to start it off on a negative note. It's just we're back at Abu Dhabi, and I get traumatic effects whenever I now watch a race at Abu Dhabi. Can anybody guess why?
I don't know, because Latifi?
Of course, it's Latifi, yes. Yeah. Latifi. If you spell Latifi Massi, then yes, that is exactly the person that I have traumatic effects from, being at Abu Dhabi. Also, just to mention this, it's the FIFA World Cup, and that's in Qatar.
Yes.
Oh my God! Can we just stop going to the Middle East, where clearly they have problems with people and sport?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, because I'm just saying.
I'm with
anyway.
You. Yeah.
Look, this is a pretty good racetrack. It was built by one of the assistants of Terman Hilke, I believe. Herman Tilke? Terman Hilke. I think that's who it is. I can't really remember. And, so we weren't expecting a lot from it. But over the years, it has given some good races. And there is at least opportunities to overtake, even if they are kind of manufactured by the DRS. For those of you who have never...
It has been modified at least 2 or 3 times since they designed it. So maybe that's one reason. I don't know. But
well, it's been an improvement since the last time they modified it. Let me just say that. Although I believe in a podcast, we did predict that 2 years ahead of time that they were going to do something about it because it was getting fucking boring. But nonetheless, there you go. Hello. This is obviously, I just want to put this out here. Welcome to everybody, and where's my... Oh, it's under banners. There we go. So I just want to say hello to Fabio, the Italian expert. Yeah, say something. Say moist in Italian for me, please.
Oh, in Italian?
Yes.
It's umido.
Hey!
I think we need to repeat that.
That'll get the juices flow.
I can only say once. Because the ladies are getting their knickers all twisted, so I can only say once.
Absolutely. So welcome to the Italian expert, and also then our very special guest, Lucky Seven Wolfen. Hello, Lucky, and if you could say moist in Scottish for me.
Moist in Scottish.
For me. Yes, thank you.
Oh, sorry. I'll try again then. If you weren't happy with that, moist in Scottish for me.
There you go.
This is the famous Scottish humour. There's no laughing matter, but yeah.
It's no laughing matter. That's too cold. It's too cold to be laughing about stuff.
Yeah. It's the end of term. Are we not supposed to have a jovial attitude?
We are. We certainly are.
It's freedom from now till another 105 days before season starts again.
He's even worked it out. I love him. He's brilliant. Anyway. So that's the two my hosts. And so welcome very much. And as you say, it is the end of term. Anything goes. And like a well-crafted Formula One team, we all help each other to the max. Don't we? Otherwise, we'd be Perez'd into some kind of service. And there's two very bad puns for you.
If anything goes,
Jeez.
can I start off with a race
How
summary?
long?
A race summary, okay? And then we can move on to important things after that. The race started, the cars went around the track, the race finished. That was the summary. Can we go on to something interesting now?
We certainly can. Obviously, I have to do my own inimitable impersonation of Murray. Murray Walker! To get through this, but nonetheless, we will. That is essentially the race, of course. But
Well, it kind of wasn't. Come on. I mean, can we ever recap from somebody which actually watched the race?
Oh dear. What, the whole race?
What's the race?
Yeah, the whole race. As you're supposed to.
That was the race. It started, the cars went around the track, it finished. And that was about as exciting as it got.
Bloody hell.
That is the perfect Scottish analogy of what a race is. So, I mean, Fabio, I don't know where you're going with your... Can we... Anyway, look, I'm going to go through it now. I'm going to just give a quick race review as I do. So let me just get on with that. So, obviously, pole position. Max Verstappen back on form again after losing in Brazil and getting really pissed off with everybody. In second place, Sergio Perez, starting from the clean side of the track. Obviously, another one of these really stupid pole positions where they don't know which side to put the cars. Anyway, there you go. Behind that, the rest of the people. Leclerc, an excellent third place, and then what's his name? Sainz, Carlos Sainz, and then Russell and Hamilton. So 2 by 2, very unexpected, but there you go. And who would have thought, in this year where the cars are supposed to be much closer together, we'd get to Abu Dhabi, which is traditionally a power circuit and rear limited, and all the cars would be 2 by 2. Who would have thought that? Well, Fabio, because he said that last year. But anyway, apart from Fabio, who would have thought that? Because it wouldn't be me. Anyway, look, moving on. 5 red lights go out, and into the first corner, all the action happens. Max decides to give his teammate room. Very wise. His teammate manages to, Perez almost managed to squeeze up the front, but there you go. Other than that, Lewis Hamilton getting away to a flyer, and passing Sainz. Leclerc giving some what was to be an ill-judged attempt into the hairpin to get past Perez, and that was the last they were ever going to see of each other, we would have thought. But no. Later on, a few other things happened. Lap 1, there was a couple of really close dives, like from Sainz on Hamilton, who ran him off the road. Hamilton then came back on, damaged his car, or so we thought, although later he was to give a fantastic comeback. So again, just the usual start at Abu Dhabi. People just like the end of term, really exuberance, I would say. Lewis had to give the place back eventually because he was judged not to have forced him off the road. He did so in whatever it is, turn 10, in the high speed, and a good place to do it. Managed to hang on, but never managed to get past Sainz, the Mercedes being pretty slow. Still, nonetheless, by lap 5, it was all sorted out, and the order was Verstappen, Perez by 2 seconds, Leclerc 2 seconds, Sainz 2 seconds, Hamilton just still hanging on in there and battling. Sainz drove a pretty good race, I thought. It was really going to turn out to be tyres. And there you go. Basically, that was how that sorted out. And so we had to wait till pretty much the end of the race to see what kind of strategies people were on. It was going to turn out that the one-stop strategy was in fact going to be the best strategy, and that was what Max did, and he won the race clearly by 8 seconds, 9 seconds, although presumably backed off. Second place, then was a fantastic one-stop strategy made to work by Leclerc, who hung on for desperate life and was almost passed by the two-stopper in third place, which was Perez. However, Perez just ran out of laps, and that was probably thanks to having to fight his way back through the traffic. Also, just a note that Max helped immensely Perez not get second place, and did virtually nothing for him. Not only did he take pole, he didn't let him through on the first lap. He didn't. Every time Perez got anywhere near his rear wing and looked like he possibly could get an advantage, Max just put the hammer down again and drove away from him. So there you go, really. Max being Max, I guess. And I think this is going to turn out next year to be quite spicy. They've now signed Ricciardo at Red Bull, and I think they've
confirmed?
done that. That is confirmed, yes.
Okay.
And that was confirmed this weekend, in fact. And but Christian Horner says it's only going to be for demos. So obviously preserving, but of course Perez's contract is only till 2024. And Red Bull famous for dropping people halfway through a season. So I think if there's any shenanigans, by shenanigans I mean Perez trying to outdrive Max Verstappen at any point or disobey team orders at any point, I think he'd be dropped like I don't know, like Alex Albon or a Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was going to stay within the Red Bull team actually, but yeah. Schumacher as well. Although I think Schumacher's rightly been dropped by Haas as it goes. But there you go. But we'll talk about that first. So that then led for, as I say, Perez to come back on a two-stopper. I think he was a bit pissed actually about it. I don't think he really wanted to have to do that. And they pitted him quite early. I guess if they were going to do the two-stopper, they should have pitted him early. But to my surprise, they put him on two sets of hards for the second run, which was quite surprising considering the hards managed to make it.
There's an explanation for that I'll come to later.
Thank you very much. I'm going to look forward to that.
Surprise explanation, in fact.
I will look forward to it. Okay, so that was basically that. I would say, Leclerc should thank Hamilton. Hamilton was the main person that held up Perez on the on his journey back through to try and catch him. Took Perez 3 laps to get past Hamilton, and that probably cost Perez the chance of being under the rear wing of Leclerc on the final lap. But there you go. That was how that worked out. So yeah, Verstappen finished off the year with a win, 15 wins this year, which is a record, although that probably be broken next year as there's more races again. So do we think on a 22 race season that 15 wins is incredible? Not really, compared to how McLaren did 14. I think it was 14 wins with a 16 race season.
All but one.
Yeah, I think so. No, it was
13.
It was 15 out of 16. Oh, wait, they only lost one race.
Okay, there we go. So yeah. So I think like for like, it's not really much of a record, but I think Max will take anything at the moment, just because he's getting such bad press for various reasons, which we will also talk about, that he doesn't care anything to make it sound good. And yeah, there's been some interesting commentary from the experts this week about being back at Abu Dhabi and referring to last year's debacle and saying how much better it would be for Max if he'd lost last year because of the travesty of a regulation.
Really?
Yeah, because of the travesty of the regulation that Massey broke.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, okay, you think that. I know you think that, but let me say the point first, and then we'll get through it. So saying that because of the registration, it would have been far better for him to have lost that year and breezed this year the way he has, and everybody say what a great driver he is, rather than have this about saying, well, no, it's not true. He only won last year because of a steward's decision. And this year he's been less than gracious in his winning. So Nonetheless, there you go. That's what people are saying. I'm just pointing that out. And I also think when he's up against people with the great press like Hamilton and Leclerc, then he's always going to suffer, especially if he acts like a petulant child, as he did in Brazil. So there we go. I think that's all helped him. He's been complaining bitterly about the social media, by the way, and saying it's completely unfair that himself and his family and his dog and his goldfish and probably his butler have all been attacked on social media unfairly. I'm not sure that's actually going on. I think it's just him that's getting the brunt of it for being a twat, and his dad for being a complete arsehole. But there you go. I'm not going to add to any of that. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. Abu Dhabi finished. Max Verstappen is the champion. Well done to Max. Second time, 2 times world champion back to back. Nothing to do with the car, all to do with what a great driver he is. Okay, thank you very much. That's it. Fabio.
Yeah, I mean,
Over to you, my son.
I actually enjoyed the race. I mean, it was quite. I mean, there was at least there was something at stake. It wasn't the world championship, but there was something, kind of a gripping thing. At least for Leclerc and Perez. So I will start with a fun fact. Red Bull has never done a 1-2 ever. Any
in the world championship
they won, yes. And that happened this year too, because Perez wasn't able to do that. It was really funny how Verstappen did not help Perez at all, at all. I think it was instrumental in him actually losing the race. I remember team radios at a certain point, Perez asking, "Is Max, tire managing, or is it pulling?" I'm pretty sure I saw Max Verstappen driving with while smoking a cigar at a certain point, because I remember he actually made a fast lap by mistake, and it was something like 1.3, 1.4 seconds faster than the fastest lap recorded up until that point. So it was literally coasting, and which is not what we can say about Leclerc. I mean, Leclerc was really making a proper time management, but he had way more at stake. They asked him. It was refreshing to see at least once some kind of tactic from Ferrari, even if it was really really scruffy, because they tried. They asked Leclerc to do opposite of what Perez was doing when Perez pit for the second time, and they let him out. But they were not really sure, because they actually told him he's gonna catch up with us at the last lap. So it was sketchy at best, but it worked. I do not agree with the fact that Lewis helped Leclerc. I mean, at least not on purpose. I mean, Lewis was fighting for position at the time.
Not on purpose, no. I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
not on purpose, but it turned out to be quite crucial.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Perez's tactic was if Perez's tactic was to change tires 2 times, so he had to overtake people which were fighting for position anyway. So that is, I think that was part of the of the scenery, if you buy that.
Yeah, but I think in Lewis's mind was, oh look, this is the guy that held me up, right?
In
Abu Dhabi last year, and I'm going to make sure that I hold him up, even if it's costing me lap time.
Yeah, I think that Lewis was way more worried about Russell than Perez at that point. Lewis, this is the first time that he has never won one race in his career. He has always won at least one race since he started F1. This is the first year, and he also got a teammate which seemed to be, it's not a Butler, right? I mean, it's not Rosberg.
As fast, yeah.
Yeah, it's not Rosberg or it's not Bottas. So I think he was more worried about Russell than I think Russell got ahead of him in the points at the end of the championship, isn't he?
Ahead of Lewis, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, which again, that's another. It's another first time that has happened to Lewis, because I think in McLaren they got with the same amount of points with Alonso, I think. So he has never been beaten by his teammate, which, funnily enough, this is something which he has in common with Alonso, because this year Ocon got more points than Alonso, and that's another thing that has never happened to Alonso, to be beaten by his teammate. So add to that, that Sebastian,
read the screen.
What?
Read the screen. Just comment on that quickly as well while we're in the middle of this particular little bit.
I like how wasted Leclerc was after the race. Yeah, I mean, Leclerc, I think he drove a fantastic race with the material that he had. So no question asked. And with a tactic which proved to be winning at the end, but it wasn't a sure tactic. It was, I would say, an Hail Mary, but it was something, they tried something different that they were not really sure, about. So kudos to the guy. I think he deserved it, honestly.
100%. 100%. But just to say two things. Firstly, like for Max, it was relatively easy to do that because he didn't have to run full pace to win the race.
Yeah.
And secondly, he was in the lead, so he had clean air on his wings, which also helps preserve the tyres. Leclerc didn't have either of those things. So.
Yeah, and it was also running really slow compared to the pace that he would have been able to do. They made a race simulation, I think, on Friday. I mean, Red Bull was fucking flying. It was, unheard of. So he only got 8 seconds ahead of Leclerc, and so I mean, it was paid, but
it's what
he already won. He already won 2 championships. Yeah. He already won 2 championships. Oh, and by the way, I don't know who the fuck said, what you said before about, it would have been better if he didn't win last year's champ. You know what's the difference between winning 1 world championship and 2 world championships?
Is it 1 world championship?
It's 100% more world championship, So
now.
I mean,
No, I mean, it wasn't from the point of view of how many world championships. It was the point of view of he's complaining about social media being on his back. Well, if he wants to complain about social media being on his back, then perhaps he ought to be a little more sus about what he says and does.
Yeah, but
and that's the point that's being made.
But when you say it would be like me, if I were loaded with money, complaining about that my champagne is not cold, Yeah, of course it's a problem because your champagne is not cold. It is a problem. I understand it's a problem if you have 1 glass of champagne.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree with that.
You're complaining about a glass of fucking champagne. I mean, your job is to drive that car fast and to win the world championship, and you won it twice. So I don't even know. I'm not even sure that he is serious about that. He has to say that because PR and all that shit, but. Yeah, he couldn't give to 5 fucks. Which, by the way, I totally respect that. That he complains about things that he has not. He doesn't care what iota. Good job.
Last year, Nicholas Latifi got death threats to himself and his family because of the accident that brought out the safety car that won Verstappen the championship. He wasn't making any comments about social media being bad at that point in time. But now that it's come on to him, and people aren't quite so happy, he's very vocal about it.
Yeah, because it's not a point, But don't get me wrong. I mean, the fact that Max Verstappen is complaining about social media, do not think for a second that he actually cared about the fact that the social media. He doesn't care. It's just something that he has to say. I mean, honestly, what the fuck do he has to say in an interview? He makes the pole. He has the fastest car. He won the world championship by 150 points. And I mean, I'm surprised he doesn't talk about the weather, or I don't know, the color of the tarmac.
He was complaining about people saying that Dutch weather wasn't very nice.
So
there you go. you know.
But that's
No, I
not-
think he was
nothing on shoes,
he
that statement.
basically said that people were attacking his family. They can attack Max, they can attack
Yeah.
me all they like, but to say that my girlfriend's a bit fucking fat, come on now, who would do that?
Which she isn't, by the way. I mean,
No, but,
if you tell me that his girlfriend has a crazy father, I'm with it, right?
Yeah,
She's
right.
not fat, and she's actually
Yeah,
looks really good.
Nelson.
So-
wrote it.
Sure. I was just being a little bit. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's not get down there. But I mean, just saying that he's complaining about people attacking his family. How unfair that is, I'm not sure that many people are. I think they're really just attacking the father
Well,
because of some of the statements the father put out at the time, calling Lewis a bit of a bitch boy and also saying other things, which about Max being, the greatest driver since sliced bread. And that it's like us saying, hang on a minute, he's only got 2. Vettel got 4. So how can Max be the greatest driver since sliced bread? He can't be. Just saying
But
that.
listen,
When people
I
make
mean,
these comparisons, it's understandable why they get criticised like that.
world champions, they're all bitch boys. They all are bitch boys. I mean, Lewis has been bitching like forever. Seb has been bitching like forever. I mean, even Schumacher has been bitching like forever. When they were winning, and of course because they want to win. That's what they want to do, and they're gonna bitch about everything. That is, again, I can't fault the guy for that. I understand that people doesn't get it. They're not sympathetic to the guy. So, well, I mean, what the fuck does he want?
Yeah.
He already won and he's bitching. Yeah, he's bitching because he wants to win more. He doesn't, I mean, these people, they don't want to win. They want to annihilate, the competition. So,
Agreed.
and if they think that something is not going their way, they complain about that.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Because they feel they are entitled to that. And that is the right attitude. That is totally the right attitude.
Understood. That's why when you get like a Vettel, Vettel back in the day, when I think about it, used to have a ruthless streak on track as well. But he never really came out in the media and said the same sort of things. And I think what I find really disappointing is the fact that, Max Verstappen's father has been saying things about other competitors. I think that's in poor taste. Number one. And number two, Helmut Marko just trying to play this all-out psychological game just because Lewis was doing it within the team, right? I think this is just not on, really. And I honestly think that it should be, the Red Bull should be criticised for it. And I can't understand how they've managed to keep Adrian Newey, who is famous for detesting that kind of attitude within the team.
Oh,
right? He
I
doesn't,
know that.
He doesn't want to. He wants to keep it all private.
I think that Adrian Newey has something like 10 or 15 million reasons because he's there. So yeah,
well, that's chicken feed for him these days. But yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
but,
look, I just want to just get through the attitude. When I put something on the screen, let's just get to it. How attitudes change. They used to boo the drivers when they let their teammates pass for the team. Yeah, people obviously back in the day, team orders were illegal, and so But these days it's kind of changed, Bub, and I know you know that, and you appreciate that. And then,
ironically enough, Verstappen got booed at the race after the race this weekend as well. So he got booed for not letting his teammate pass and booed for letting his team. He couldn't win. It's just it's the way it goes. You can't please the people all the time, unfortunately.
I think once you've said something in social media like the Verstappens have, where they've personally attacked other people on in different teams, then I think you're headed for a fall. Especially when it's someone like Lewis, who shit wouldn't stick to. He's too nice, right?
Listen,
he's too clever.
I can't believe I'm saying this, okay? Because I don't like Max. I don't like I don't like the way he drives. I mean, I don't like the guy, okay? Fuck it. But if you are Max Verstappen and you've got somebody which says, "Oh, he won 2 world championships because of me," I would be pretty. I mean, that guy is dead to me. I can say whatever you want. Yeah, I can help you. I'll give you a slipstream. That guy is dead to me. Because that guy is a fucking idiot, and so he deserves to die, and I agree with him. So yeah, I'm
Well,
not expecting. I mean, it will probably let Perez pass someday if they put a sniper and shoot at one of Max tires. That would be the only way he might have Perez pass him.
Okay.
Maybe Max is actually correct. We shouldn't be attacking Jos. Maybe this behavior is because he's been spending too much time with his girlfriend's crazy father, and he's come under the influence of Nelson.
There you go. Jos. Yeah, there you go. It's bad on both sides.
That would explain quite a lot, wouldn't it? Having Nelson Piquet as your fucking mentor.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, just Verstappen is not a PC or NPC or a bot. It's entertaining. Yes, Bob, you're absolutely correct here. It is entertaining. These rivalries are what Formula One thrives on. When I think back to Prost Senna, people really wanted to take sides, etc., etc. Yeah. So you're absolutely correct, Bob. And although we criticise Max, etc., etc., he is playing a role. He doesn't like playing the role, and that's what's extra entertaining, I think. He doesn't want to be the bogeyman, and yet there he is. And he's kind of, he's helpless in the role. And that's what's kind of funny as well, because clearly he was abused as a child. I'm just saying, like this guy was bullied into being the superstar that he is, right? And although he's reaping the rewards, as Fabio is rightly saying, he's got his determination, he's got his attitude, and that's right. If you want to be a multiple world champion, if you want to be better than everybody else, you have to have that kind of determination. You don't have to express it the same way, though, and that's where I'm disagreeing with Fabio. When I think of someone like Rossi, complete cunt on track, but really, really nice guy off track. Yeah, and what are you going to say about him? He's looked after his media. He's looked after his media, right? He's been generous to other drivers, to other riders. He's taught them. He's mentored other riders. Simoncelli, okay.
I mean, I can give you a couple of telephone numbers. One from Max Biaggi, the other one from Marquez and Lorenzo, that they might disagree with you, But yeah.
Well, they're going to disagree that off track he's the same person that he is on track. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to turn around and say, "Oh no, off track he treats people the same way he treats people on track."
Oh no, right? No. Okay, no. I thought you said something else. Okay, yeah. I mean, it was a con.
It's the same with Lewis. Yeah. He's a bastard on track, right? He doesn't want to let anybody pass. He will, but he doesn't want to, and he'll only do it when he thinks it's. He's going to gain some kind of cachet from it.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem with Max is, right? And that's why he didn't let Perez pass. Well, why did he, even if, he's got that attitude.
No, but sorry, I don't understand. Why is it a problem for Max and not a problem for Lewis? That's the part I'm missing.
Lewis does let people pass.
Yeah.
He steps out of his car sometimes to let other people drive his car.
Yeah, but does he have to? That would be my question. Does he have to?
Yeah. Of course he does, because there's cachet in it. There's a reason for him to do it. He knows he's going to get some press or some reward from doing this, right? And he makes himself look good in the process. Max does not make himself look good in the process.
I don't remember any Lewis teammate tell him that he won World Championship because of that. You're right. I mean, you're seriously under that. I'm still getting there because people underestimate that. That is massive. That is super massive. Nobody wants to hear that, especially if you're Max Verstappen and the one which is saying is your teammate, that you constantly beat him up with the same material. You don't want to say that, and if you say that, Perez signed his death sentence when he said that.
I understand that, but Max said that. Max said he was bullied as a child.
Yeah, but listen.
And he looks it. His attitude is.
Yeah, but they don't.
He actually says shit, which makes you think, oh well, he was bullied as a kid.
But okay, so my issue would be, why do we care so much what the fuck people say, when they're not fucking driving their car?
Because
we should
says
stop listening to people.
It's completely unreasonable, the response he's had on social media.
I don't care about social media. I want to see races,
I get you. I get that. If we were just talking about the racing, he's a complete bastard, but he wins, right? That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and he's done it. Yeah. He's done it the way Schumacher did it, right? So I've got no fucking problem with that, other than to say I didn't like the fact that Schumacher cheated to get some of his world titles. Okay, that's how that goes. All right. Now, will Max cheat in the future? Yeah, I think he will. I think he will honestly cheat in the future to get world championship titles. The reason I'm saying that, well, because he already drives over the limit, as we found out. Even when it's not important, he'll drive over the limit. All right. There are new rules in Formula One. It's not the same as in the Schumacher days, and Schumacher didn't even get away with it, right? Because he was so blatant about it, right?
It's okay to criticize a race. Yeah. It's okay to criticize a race. It's okay to say anything. If you finish ahead of everybody else, and your name is in the book, that is a valid victory. Period. There is no cheating, no shit.
Well, no. There is cheating.
That is my.
There's still cheating.
No.
You still get the world title. No, you still get the world title, but people can still say, "Oh yeah, well of course there was cheating."
Oh, people can say whatever the fuck they want. I'm with you there.
And I am.
People can say, yeah, I know, yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
People can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them right.
No, but it doesn't make them wrong either. When I say that,
it makes them wrong.
When I say when I say Michael Schumacher cheated, he drove into Damon. He chose into Damon Hill. He literally drove into the side of him deliberately in order to win the world championship.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. That's cheating. As far as I'm concerned, I'm defining that as cheating.
Well, okay, you got a pretty loose definition of cheating, but
okay, well that might be the case. But I think driving into your opponent deliberately in order to crash them out of the race is cheating, the same as Senna did, right? The same as Prost did.
Well, okay, yeah. I understand what you say. I think with
Senna,
agree, but
technically he didn't drive into his opponent. He let his opponent drive into him. Okay, so there is a slight difference there. And the Prost thing, I think Prost was just being over exuberant in his braking, and he was never going to make the corner. So I think there's that. But
listen, I understand what you say. I don't think it's something that we're ever going to agree on. So
okay.
Well, Senna admitted he admitted that he T-boned Prost in his Ferrari the first corner. He flat out admitted that's what he did, and then
he said he was going to do it before he did it. So
everybody knew he was guilty of it. Despite
but technically speaking, he didn't drive into Prost. Prost drove into him. He just refused to back out of the corner.
Well,
and it was clear that Prost was going to cut across, So there's technically maybe not as bad as Schumacher actually turning the wheel and steering into his opponent. Okay, which I definitely consider as cheating on big scale. Well, don't shake your head, Fabio. He did. You can see on the inboard camera. He turned the wheel and drove into Damon Hill.
Listen, I just said that is something we're never going to agree, and you keep pining on. I mean, cheating is when you go against one rule and you don't get caught, right? Those guys, did whatever they did, in front of the cameras. There is a set of stewards which are, there to judge whatever they did. They decided it was okay, so that's not cheating. It's in my opinion, that is as simple as that. There is no way around it. But and again, I said, I understand your opinion. I do not agree, and I think we can talk about it until we're blue in the face. I'm just trying to listen to you and see where the fuck you're going. But I can shake my fucking hand because I do not agree. The same. So.
I think what I'm trying to say is that there's a certain will to win that you must have to become a champion. And that will to win would perhaps include turning in on Damon Hill in the Australian Grand Prix deliberately to crash him out of the race. I think that's pretty much what he's saying, and also to then attempt the same trick on Villeneuve 2 years later. It's a will to win, and Schumacher had that will to win.
It doesn't fucking matter what people say. There are three things that matter. Actually, there's two. Okay, there is the stopwatch. That's the only thing which matters on the track, and then there is the steward commission. Those are the only two things that matter. Period.
Okay.
If they agree, if both those things agree on the result, that is the result. Period. There is no cheating there. It doesn't matter whatever the fuck people say, right? It literally does not matter. That is the beauty of this sport. I mean, you get in a car, you get in a motorcycle, you put your helmet on, you close your lid, and you're fighting against the stopwatch. That's it. And if you do something which is not in the rules, there's somebody which is supposed, to judge you for whatever you did. That's it. That's all there is. But again,
okay, let's finish with that then.
Schumacher did get judged. He got judged, not the first occasion, but certainly on the second occasion when he turned into Villeneuve. He was judged big time. On that occasion.
Yeah. He was stopped points, thrown out of the championship. Yeah.
He was also judged the time he accidentally parked his Ferrari up against the barriers at the end of.
Lucky, those are the rules. It's not. Those are the rules. If somebody drives, as it has happened, many times, there is a mistake in driving. Somebody drives into the side of a car, and they give him 5 seconds, and the other guy gets retired, gets out of the race. Is it fair? No, it's not fair, because the guy which caused the accident got 5 or 10 seconds, and the other guy is out of the race. Is it fair? It's not fair. Is it what it's supposed to be? It is. So deal with it. It is what it is.
I am agreeing with you. What I'm saying is on these
Sorry,
two
I've got to say, Bub says that Fabio is right as well.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
thank you, Bob.
On these two occasions, he was caught and he was judged and he didn't get away with it. On other occasions, such as with Damon Hill in Australia, he got away with it. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Why do you
absolutely. Yeah, look. I now need to just say my bit, okay? Yes, I understand you're saying by the letter of the law, if you get judged to have found to doing something wrong, you didn't cheat, right? You got caught, so you didn't get away with it. And if your definition, you need to get away with it in order for it to be cheating. Well, then your definition is no one can cheat, because if they get away with it, it's not cheating because they didn't get judged. And if they don't get away with it, they get judged, then it's not cheating because they didn't get away with it. I understand that, all right? That's fine. We're appealing to something slightly more nuanced here, which is, our opinions, not the steward's opinions, not anybody else's opinions. We're just saying, from our point of view of how the sport should be, and with should in very large inverted commas, right? Okay, fair enough. Because
I agree
that's
with you.
how that goes, right? Like I said to you before, the brake fiasco, right? Well, McLaren didn't cheat because they got caught, right?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well,
so it was fine.
Well, no.
There was no
Okay.
espionage.
No, listen.
They paid a price for it.
No, listen, you can say they cheated up until the point they got caught, because when they got caught, it turned out
That's
to
what
be
we're
illegal.
saying. That's
Yeah,
what we're saying then, okay?
but that
So
is
what we're saying
that
is
is not an opinion.
Schumacher
If you don't,
cheated. Schumacher cheated up until the point he actually got done for running into Villeneuve. Okay,
listen, man,
that's
if
all we're
I
saying.
listen, if I agree with you, it's an opinion, right? Opinions
Yes.
are like assholes. Everybody has
Yes.
got one, and nobody
Yeah.
wants to smell the other guys. So yeah, it's good. I mean, yeah, my asshole smells like roses. So yeah, it's your loss. So, there you go.
Okay, no
There was
worries.
actually once a comment left on one of the videos, and I think it was you, Simon, that said we could do a short cheater section every episode, if you like.
Yeah.
And as soon as you said short cheater, I thought Michael Schumacher.
Long cheater. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, look,
Short in height.
let's move on. Let's move on from the cheating because there is
Jesus
obviously
Christ, you guys
there's
are
obviously some bad blood going on.
Wow.
Obviously, some people don't think that Michael Schumacher or Ferrari have ever done anything wrong. No, I'm
Well,
joking.
listen,
I'm joking.
while we're on the subject of Ferrari, and I promised you an explanation for Perez's pit stops.
Yes.
Okay, on lap 33, Ferrari gave the radio message to Leclerc that said, box opposite Perez. Okay, Ferrari had decided from the start of the race they were going to do one stop. That message was sent as a dummy message so that Red Bull thought that Leclerc was coming in for two stops. And of course didn't, and just kept going, whereas Perez came in for two stops to cover an undercut from Ferrari.
Yeah.
And that's why there was two pit stops for Perez.
Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure I completely agree. I think yes, there was that game played in that they were basically saying we're going to two stop if you don't, so you better make your mind up to either two stop now or we're going to go in one stop. And I think it, given that the Ferrari has not been good on its tires, or as good as the what's the word I'm looking for? As good as the Red Bull on low downforce circuits or relatively low downforce circuits. I think that was probably a really wise thing to do, and it was against the run. I think Perez would have caught Leclerc had things gone to plan. However, I think it's not just Lewis; it was also that Perez ran out of tyres as well towards the end of catching Leclerc. At least the extreme pace that he had.
It was three laps, I think. He was stuck behind Hamilton, is that correct?
3 laps, yeah, to get by Hamilton, yeah. So there was that as well, but I mean, I don't think that was the only factor because Perez was like gaining a second a lap for quite a few laps, and then after overtaking Lewis, he was only gaining at like 0.6 a lap. So getting past Lewis obviously cost him a fair amount of his tyre. Just being behind someone for a few laps probably wore his front tyres to the point where he didn't have quite the pace to catch up again, which was always going to be the case, by the way. I mean, if you're doing a two-stop.
I think that the reason they got him, because you mentioned before, I think the reason they got him hard tires on Perez, it's because they had a set of new hard tires and they did not have new medium tires.
Right, okay.
So I think it was pretty much forced on them. So yeah, there is that. But
okay,
yeah,
I didn't know. I thought it was a strange decision.
It was strange. I saw that, but then I've heard that were new tires, and they did not have new medium tires for some reason. I don't know why. So they went with that. It was more and again, it would have seemed better. I mean, Leclerc already had a lot of laps on his tires, so and I also think that the Leclerc one-stop strategy was something that they figure out 2 or 3 laps after that, Perez pitted. I don't think it was the original plan. I think the opposite thing was because it's also because, when Perez got back on track, the timing was actually really bad. He got in some kind of traffic, so doing opposite was quite natural. And considering the fact that Perez was ahead, so yeah. So when you keep in mind that when you hear the team radio, they're not live, so there are some minutes before. So what I imagine they did is to tell him do opposite of Perez, so you put pressure on Perez first, which is not. It's a good thing, and even if Perez pit or he didn't pit, because Perez is ahead, you still have time, to change your mind, right?
Yeah.
You can also tell him, okay, box anyway. So it doesn't really mean anything. That kind of message was more to put pressure on Red Bull and Perez, more than a real.
Yeah,
strategy.
Also I would just say one thing as well. For the first time this year, I heard a really good radio message from Ferrari to driver, which was, Leclerc, can you do one stop? How are the tyres? Can you make it? And Leclerc instantly came back with, yeah, I think I can do that. And that was enough said. No more needed to be said. Just brilliant by Ferrari there. They were checking that Leclerc thought he could do that, or whether he needed to do a 2-stop. And
that's something that I mentioned. It was quite refreshing to see Ferrari. The tactic was not brilliant in the sense that it was quite fuzzy and sketchy at the end. They were not sure about the tactic. It was still risky, So this is not what I would consider a good tactic in my book, but still. The communication between the driver and keep in mind that it's only 1 week after that they left the guy with intermediate tires on a dry track. So, I think they had some kind of talk about communication, stuff like that. And one of the things, I think we said it last week also, but one of the things that Leclerc has to do, like he has to do, if he wants to win a world championship, is to start acting as a driver which is as fast as he is. Meaning that he has to take decisions. He has to. The feedback from the track is two-way. And he has to. He has to impose his will.
Yeah. Well, he said what he said, and then there was no questioning it. It was accepting it. Very much like a team should do. What's your input, driver? We'll make the decision once you give your answer. And he gave his answer. The decision was made. There was no need to question it. And away you go, kind of thing. Lucky, so this quote that you've put in private chat, do you want to read it and just say where it comes from?
Well, I was hoping you would read it in your best French accent.
Oh, may we?
Yeah, go for it. Best French accent.
Certainly. That's what we planned before. Jeez. The labs where I can say it now, we were dumb and him and made him think that we were going to pit opposite. He took it, went for a second stop, but we did everything perfect. I'm very proud of our execution. And who said that?
Thank you, Charles Leclerc, for that quote.
Oh, I see. That was Charles Leclerc. The basic.
Yeah, good friend of the show, Charles Leclerc. Yeah, that was him speaking there, obviously.
Okay.
This thing was all planned. This dummy Perez into 2-stop. It was planned before the race. They wanted 1 stop. And as Leclerc says, they took the bait and went for a 2-stopper, and that's why they're saying they got where they did.
Yeah. Okay.
That was after the race, right?
That was after the race. Yes.
That was after the race.
Okay.
He
I'm
used to
just
sit
saying.
after the race.
Oh,
They,
yeah,
they,
yeah.
they did give us the message. The message, it was quite clearly heard.
Was
to,
it was
to
was
box.
it also after the race that Max Verstappen said that he tried to help Perez?
He didn't fucking
Was
try
it?
to help Perez. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he said
yeah.
that, did he?
I don't know. I mean, I was just wondering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Listen,
there's that. I was also going to say, look, it's been a really tough year. Right at the beginning of the year, of course, thinking back now, I'm going to do a general overview now. We'll be finished with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Not much more to say, I think, unless anybody wants to say anything further, then please do. But I think overall year recap, we went in with very high hopes. As you know, Fabio, I became Italian this year.
Yes.
Mia compagna tifosi, and also, you know, I enjoy a lovely glass of wine these days. So there's that. Pasta still can't fucking stand, but nonetheless, that's besides the point. We went in with high hopes because in testing, the Ferrari looked an amazing car. They'd clearly got the best design format and the best out of the new regulations at the beginning part of the season. And it wasn't until a technical directive came in, other teams complaining, that Ferrari really started dropping back. And they never really managed to catch up because that technical directive didn't really impinge upon the Red Bull. So I think in some sense, it's been a disappointing year with these new regulations because obviously the budget cap has really impinged upon people's ability to be able to catch up. And in such a large scale change, normally the teams would just throw money at redesigning the car, manufacturing parts, and getting them onto the car. So I do think that it's been a kind of a weird year. And then also, so yeah, I think hopefully next year, with an extra 100 million to spend on trying to design the right car for these regulations, then hopefully things are going to be a bit closer. And I'm disappointed that those technical regs came in about the porpoising. I don't understand why they didn't just make other changes which could have eliminated the porpoising and allowed people to keep their design of their car still moving forward halfway through the year, rather than trying to make people redesign the car in such a major way. So I think again we've had a spoiled year in some respects by the FIA in the technical regulations, and this is the second time in recent times that this has affected particularly Ferrari, as we know with the engine technical regs for the engine halfway through the last year that really curtailed Ferrari's fighting ability, and this year with the porpoising really curtailing what seemed Ferrari's basic car design. So I'm disappointed. I'm hoping that next year will be a better year for that, and that Ferrari will have changed enough to make it competitive with the Red Bull, or at least people would have stolen enough of the Red Bull secrets in order. Sorry, not cheated. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply cheating at all there. When I say stolen, I meant copied in a way which isn't, which isn't actually just copying. It's just going to be inspirational. I hope people are inspired by the Red Bull to design a car in their own manner, which is nothing like the Red Bull, but is as fast. Okay? Does that make sense?
You don't want to pull a McLaren. That's what you mean.
Oh, well, no, I was thinking of Tracing Point, but...
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Not so much McLaren. I was thinking of the Tracing Point. Okay, so, what do you guys think about the... Oh, he's gone. About the year in general. What do you think, Fabio, about the year in general? I'm hoping he's just dropped out temporarily.
I mean, as briefly as I can, Red Bull won the championship fair and square. They had the best package. By the best package, I mean they had overall the best car. They had, the best driver, the best pit, the best development program, and the best reliability. So that was the package, which made them won the championship. Ferrari season, I would give him like, a 7, 8 out of 10. Compared to where they were coming from, it's a huge step. I think that, as you said before, we were all a bit, taken away by how well they began the championship. There were a lot of problems. Reliability was a problem. A couple of mistakes from the drivers. Driver management was also an issue, in my opinion, and problems with the pit in some tactical decisions, and of course reliability was was faulty. So the step from last year was massive, like really proper massive. It is still not World Championship material as a package as a whole, and I think they will have to to change something in the structure. I would be against, even if you know full well what my feelings are towards having an engineer as a team manager. I don't think now it's the time to overturn the old structure. I think they have to find the good. They got to inject something in the areas that are faulty, that they're missing. And I mean, if they go on that direction, it's gonna be good. I mean, so yeah.
He seems to have learned. He seems to have learned a lot, Binotto, this year. I think it's been maybe a baptism of fire, but he does seem to be getting through it. And if he genuinely has been making progress himself with how he manages the team and how he divides his time between his tasks and where he puts his priorities, then of course it would be silly to just sack him just because if he's already learnt. So, and I think that's the case. I think people are getting used to him now. I'm getting used to him. He clearly made changes when criticised. That's what I'm impressed with. All of those tactical errors, he took it on the nose himself, right? Maybe it's probably somebody else's fault, but nonetheless, he took responsibility for the team. He made some changes. People criticised the changes, but he kept it in-house still, and they seem to be getting through it.
In that way, I agree with you. I mean, it would be good if they keep a consistent, package. They have to. I mean, of course, they have to do better in some of the areas that we talked about. Reliability. Tactics, drivers management, and all that stuff. So, but they're not that far. And again, I want to still say that again. We got to remember where they were coming from. The step has been huge. As for the things that I did not like in this year, of course, the whole FIA was quite bonkers. The technical directive 39 was, I mean, it was a sham. I think it was bonkers. Even because I don't know if you've noticed, but porpoising has fucking disappeared. It's nowhere to be seen because everybody raised their cars. That's it.
Yeah, you can still hear it on the Ferrari and the Mercedes.
It's not...
They're still bottoming. It's just that it's not bottoming to the same degree as it was.
Yeah.
Why? As you say, because they raised their cars.
Because everybody raised their cars.
And they did what the solution that Red Bull found, which was to put skids at the back, which stopped the porpoising. Raising the car, which is just raising the car by another method.
Yeah, but I mean, so anyway, I was talking about the FIA management. I think it was really bad. They I mean, the old free stewards per race turned out to be a complete ridiculous in some instances.
Every other race,
yeah. So. The other thing, which were disappointing in this year. I mean, Mercedes, they made a very bad car. I mean, wrong car. They managed to save it a little bit at the end of the. I think that a lot of what they they managed to do was because of the technical directive 39. It seemed to be to affect to actually give them a huge advantage that they did not have. I mean, all of a sudden they got 0.4 of a second on the Ferrari, from one race to the other. And the only thing which changed was that directive. I mean, it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard not to correlate to to data. They spent a little bit more they decided to put a lot of development in the car. One of the things they had good was reliability. I hope it doesn't bite them in the ass for next year, even if the fact that might sound really strange, but the fact that they got third in the championship might be actually good for them, because they will have a little bit more money, a little bit more time allotted to develop the car. So that would be good. The other thing which was super disappointed was the TV images. The director, whoever the fuck is in charge of deciding which camera goes what. There were I think I changed 3 television sets because I broke, all of them, because this year was really bad. I mean, they were literally, panning on the stands, but people was fighting on the track, on a crazy overtake, and they were panning on, with all the people on the stands. So yeah, I mean, there was sometimes I was really furious. But other than that, I think it was a funny championship. It was way funnier up until mid summer.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was looking like it was going to be a real classic before that, before the FIA interrupted. But they had to do something. The porpoising was too bad. I don't understand why the teams just didn't get together and say the solution that they offered before the season started, of having the suspension was the thing, right? Hydraulic suspension or whatever. Active suspension. I don't know why they weren't allowed active suspension. It would have made all the difference to this season, and it would have been a lot closer as a result. However,
I agree with you. I think it would have been really difficult to
okay.
Put
I just want to get through a couple of things quickly, if I may. Yeah. So, Lucky, your review of the season, how did you find it? What do you think about it? What do you think for next year? That kind of thing.
Well, instead of me reviewing the year, why don't I wrap up the year after year 2 reviews with some end of season pieces of news. Schumacher's gone from Haas, being replaced by Hülkenberg next year.
Indeed.
The other driver who we won't be seeing on the grid next year is, of course, Vettel. He's now retired. His last race wasn't the best race he's ever had. However, we're saying bye to a 4 times champion, 3 times runner-up, held loads of records, still holds records. Be ashamed to see him missing from Formula One, a Formula One car.
Yeah, probably the most well-liked driver on the grid currently as well.
Yeah, even
youngest world champions ever.
That's correct. Yeah.
And I mean, just give you like a testament to Sebastian. Sebastian was pissed at the end of the race. He managed to get 1 point in his last race, and he was pissed with his team about the tactic. And the reason was that they got at the same point with I think Alpine, but because Alpine had better results, they were actually behind Alpine. That's why he was pissed, and that is a testament to to a champion. He fights regardless of where he's fighting for. So
if I may, we'll go through the records that he has either held or does hold. Most poles in a season, most laps led in a season, most consecutive wins, which he doesn't hold anymore, of course. Most consecutive Grand Slams, most wins from pole in a season, youngest pole position winner, youngest driver to score a double, that's pole and race, youngest driver to score a hat-trick, pole position, race win, and fastest lap, youngest drivers champion, youngest drivers' championship runner-up, and last but by no means least, the shortest time elapsed into a race before getting a penalty, which was 6 seconds.
So basically, what you're telling me, Lucky, is that Sebastian should have stopped racing like 5 years ago. That's what you're telling me.
He should have stopped racing when he was 10.
I don't agree, because was he not runner-up twice in the Ferraris?
That
Yes.
was one. That was one of his biggest regrets, I think, not having won a championship with Ferrari. I think that in recent years, among all the drivers that Ferrari had, Sebastian was the one which was the more affectionate to Ferrari. He said, many times how his father brought him, from Germany to see, the Ferrari testing in Fiorano if he was doing good at school. So I mean, to him, Ferrari was really a dream come true, and I think one of his biggest regrets was not being able to win a championship with Ferrari. So yeah.
Also, of course, remember when he moved to Ferrari, he was talking to Michael Schumacher about the move, what he needed to do, how Ferrari worked, and so to have that kind of mentor to smooth your way into Ferrari, I can imagine he wanted to go there and just give Michael one last German Ferrari kind of link up as well, because obviously Schumacher, Michael was his idol when he was growing up as well. So.
That was a pity.
A strong link. I mean, at the time when Vettel was getting his 4 world championships, of course, I was on the opposite side, and what I now realize in hindsight is, and I confused at the time, was his silence in the press, not saying stuff, right, was not a sign that he was arrogant. It was a sign that he was determined.
Yeah.
And that I didn't understand at the time. And so, at some points I thought, oh, well, this kid, you know what I mean? He's doing it because he's got this great designer and he's got this great team behind him, which was true. Put that. Oh, that was me. Put it up. Which was true. But at the same time, since then, I found out what a nice guy behind the scenes he is and how well respected he is amongst the drivers. Even though he clearly beat the shit out of most of them. So there you go. And it's disappointing that he's never managed to get in the team, which can give him the same kind of car. But at the same time, like Alonso driving the Ferrari to second place so many times, clearly they were at a disadvantage, and still being able to do that does show the mark of a true champion as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Thank you, Lucky. Is there anything else you wanted to say about people that have left all this year?
Yes. Fabio might be able to comment on this one. Binotto at Ferrari. There's rumours that his position might be.
No, it's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Let me stop. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah,
that's taking care of that. Who the fuck is Logan Sargent?
American driver, F2 driver. He's driven in Europe for most of his career. Yeah, so he is fully ensconced in Formula One, and he's also way down.
Driver Academy graduate.
Yeah, he's way down in Formula 2. I mean, he's not even in the top 5 drivers in Formula 2. So why he's getting this chance is purely down to money. Is my suspicion.
Right. Okay. As I was saying, I believe he came through the Williams Driver Academy, and he's going to be driving for the Williams, obviously. So, there's obviously something going on there.
Yeah, I mean, he's American, obviously, and they've been desperately trying to get American driver in.
Oh, he's American. We don't need to say anything else. That says it all.
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought.
I mean, he can't be any worse than Stroll. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, I looked at his stats. The past 2 years, he was 4th in the F2 Championship, and the year before that, he finished with no points. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, Liberty Media needs an American. I mean, the American market is exploding. Next year, they're going to have 3 races. So they need, I mean, and I understand that. I mean, they need somebody. It's also a good move for Williams, you know. It's good exposure. So you need somebody like that. So.
Yeah. I agreed.
Okay, so who else have we got? We've got Hulkenberg coming back next year after
Jesus
a 3-year
Christ.
absence.
Yeah. The whole
Well,
Hulkenberg
yeah,
is it's like the fucking Walking Dead, man. I mean, they can't fucking kill the guy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean he's a pretty fast driver.
He's fast, yeah, but
But
fuck me sideways.
he's not champion material. Let's put it that way. He's already proven that with a good car he can't actually compete with the best drivers. So you know, I'm just saying
I mean,
that.
but what
If I think
is
about
this?
Timo Glock and
yeah.
go ahead.
Is this his third return?
Yeah, I
the
think so.
third time.
Yeah.
They can't.
He is
kill
consistent though. He is consistent. So I mean, like the same thing with Nico Rosberg. Well, it's the same thing with Nico Rosberg. They are excellent test drivers. So, right, they'll be able to tell you. You can bolt a new piece of aero on the car, and they'll tell you how many tenths a second you're going to get from it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like herpes. You know, once you get it, you can never get rid of the guy. I mean, he keeps popping up. But yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm glad to see him back.
We found a new nickname.
He's quite funny. He reminds me a lot of Rudolf Schumacher and Ralph Schumacher.
Ralph Schumacher, yeah.
Yes. He reminds me a little bit of Ralph. So anyway, there you go. Quick comment. Also curious how Nick de Vries. Why you pronounce it with a
Nick de Vries. I mean, he proved to be fast already. So yeah. I don't think that he's gonna have any problem. I mean, it's gonna have problems next year because it's gonna be the first year, of course. But yeah,
which team is he driving for next year? Lucky.
Is it
Lucky.
McLaren?
I know.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't.
It is. Yes.
Yeah,
McLaren? Not McLaren, is it?
Yeah. He's taking Ricardo's spot.
Yeah, Richard's.
Okay. And Ricardo is going to, as you already mentioned, Red Bull.
Yeah.
Indeed, to become their David Coulthard driver.
Indeed. That's an excellent comparison, actually. An excellent comparison.
AlphaTauri. He's going to AlphaTauri, Bob says. So thank you, Bob. Yeah, maybe you're correct there. AlphaTauri as opposed to Bottas is retiring, is he? Is Bottas retiring?
I don't think so. Bottas is in Alpha, so...
Oh, yeah, good point. It's Gasly. Gasly's moving to Alpine to replace Alonso, who's replacing Vettel, who's retiring. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah.
And, the racing was good this year with the new downforce. Do you know, I don't like it. I do not like it. Now it's back. Ground force. I'm glad it was banned originally, and I would be happy to see the back of it, to be honest.
Ground force? I think that was the gardening program, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was. I was thinking of tits there for a moment. I beg your pardon. What I actually mean to say was... what do I mean to say? Ground effect.
Ground effect.
There you go. Yeah. Ground force.
Ground force.
Yeah. Well, you can
Thunderbird 1 to ground force. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say that's why they call them Dimmocks. But there you go. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, lucky.
Are we set?
No, we're not quite set yet. They've got a few more little pieces to go yet. Lucky. Are you there? Any other changes? Okay, I think not.
I think he's dead.
Oh, I think he's dead. Yeah, there we go. We got two of him now. So there we go.
Oh Jesus Christ! I can't.
Oh my God! I've driven him to drink. Look.
I need more alcohol. Okay.
Okay, that's good. We're almost there. 20 past, and this is the last one of the year, so we can afford to run over.
Yeah.
So lucky. As we were saying, Red Bull have taken the David Coulthard Driver of the Year and awarded it to Daniel Ricciardo. Who's replacing Daniel Ricciardo?
Somebody.
Somebody
is replacing him in the McLaren, but I can't remember what his name is at the moment.
Somebody really good. I know that.
Oh, yes, he's an excellent driver.
Piastri. Of course.
Oscar
it's
Piastri. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Aussie guy, yeah. And isn't that amazing? Aussie for Aussie every time. Because who replaced Mark Webber? Daniel
I don't
Ricciardo.
know. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, Aussie for Aussie. Okay, you can't have too many Aussies in the pit, otherwise everybody starts drinking massive amounts of alcohol, going around going, all right,
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck
mate,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
show us your tits, and things like that. That's a reference to Rob Beasley, by the way. Anyway.
Again, as we've come to the end of the year, we're going to have to, of course, mention Latifi. I was unaware that the last 3 letters of Latifi's name were silent. Nobody told me that. The DNF. You don't pronounce them.
Sorry, mate. Go ahead. I'm just having a good cough.
No, it's okay. I just want to.
in.
Yeah, I just want to have the silence talk for the really bad joke. But yeah, cheers.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Cheers.
Now,
we've got some exciting new drivers on the grid next year anyway. De Vries, Piastri. We're moving on. We're saying goodbye to the old guard.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's about as much as.
Well, I mean, at least Tsunoda won't be, the worst of the worst. So yes, he has hopes. So yeah,
he's improved this year. I'll give him that.
He's improved. Yeah. He's Japanese, so if he doesn't kill himself, he's going to improve. But
I'd be really fascinated to see Alonso and Stroll together as well. I think that's going to be quite amazing to see how they can develop the car, and
or B, how long it's gonna stay there.
Yeah, I think there is that, but I think also the car will be developed towards Alonso more. So there you go. This is 30 seconds. Okay, I'm just going to share this when you're ready. Well, Lucky, do you want to introduce it?
Yes, I think it will be self-explanatory as the video goes on, but it's well worth watching this video.
Okay. Do you want to just give us some intro? Oh, right. Well, okay, yeah. Enough said. Right. There you go.
As it says, worst ever F1 accident, button injured. And as it says as it goes on, it does warn you that there are some graphic images. So if you've got any small children or dogs that might be sensitive.
Yeah, okay. So if we finish talking about this year, the new drivers and stuff, Bub says... what's his Bub say? Interesting with the new downforce. So, and it has been an interesting year. Everybody started relatively close, and it was looking to be really quite competitive this year. I think with the new rules coming in about the budget cap, that's kind of spoilt things a little bit. It's rumoured that there have been at least 6 teams gone over the 2022 budget cap. So I think we're in for another set of disputes next year when it comes to April, and that'll be some interesting mid-range drama. In fact, it almost seems manufactured drama now, but there you go. So
it's rumored that next year when it's lunchtime, Christian Horner is going to send somebody down to Marks and Spencer's for some sandwiches.
Yeah, I love one of the comments actually that Christian made, right, saying Red Bull, are not sorry at all, and that next year they're not going to reduce their catering budget. Which I just thought, fucking brilliant.
Listen, say what you want to say about Christian Horner, but that guy is brilliant. The guy is fantastic.
Yeah, they're all brilliant, but okay. Anyway, let's watch this then, and we'll go out on this. So thank you. Worst F1 accident. A button injured, apparently. I can't remember this offhand, but anyway, let's have a look.
I hope you got that.
Can we, Simons, can we get rid of Lucky Wolfing for next year? Just saying, because I just petition the fact that we get rid of the fucker. You know, I just wasted 30 seconds of my life. I will never get back.
I don't know
Thank you
about
very
you,
much.
but I was definitely very upset by seeing a keyboard in such bad disrepair. It could only have been worse if it had been an expensive one. So there we go. Okay.
Listen, it was an F1 accident, and there was a button injured, as
Yes.
promised by the
Gee,
title.
I mean, you do not explain the fucking jokes. Jesus Christ. I know you're Scottish, but fuck me. You
We-
do
we
not
had-
explain the fuck. We get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had
man.
this problem with the previous commentator, unfortunately, and it took us 6 months before we finally realised he'd never understand. But no, I'm joking. Anyway, look,
How dare you cast aspersions in that video?
yeah, no, I mean, the worst one, of course, as we all know. Can anybody say what the worst F1 accident was? Quickly.
Seriously?
Yeah, quickly,
I mean, to me was. But are you serious about that? Or
Well, I mean, in the modern era, I'm not. If you're talking, I'm not talking about when it was really a fucking dangerous sport.
I don't know about the most serious. The one which really struck me was, I mean, more than Lauda was Villeneuve, but you know,
Okay.
for reasons. So yeah.
Yeah.
that
Okay.
really
No,
hit
I mean,
me
you're going the
pretty hard.
serious route with this. Okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't going to go. The
that's why I
serious route.
asked you.
For me,
I-
it's Senna if we're going serious, but no, the non-serious. Go ahead, Lucky.
I would say the biggest accident in Formula One recently has been giving Nicky Mazepin a drive in Formula One.
Okay, that was quite an accident. Agreed. No, I was thinking of Belgium. Actually, the multi-car pile-up in Belgium, where was it
98.
13? Yeah, 13 cars or so crashed in the first lap. David Coulthard being in the middle of it. I think I seem to remember it. It was him that spun first.
That incidentally was
if
the same race
we want
that
to talk-
Coulthard went
if
into
you
the
want to
back
talk
of
about
Schumacher.
if you want to talk about accidents in a lateral way, I would say Indianapolis, where they started 6 cars because the tires couldn't cope with. Yeah, I mean,
That was terrible. Oh my god.
yeah.
And
So-
weirdly, that track, guess who that track is owned by? Firestone.
Yeah, so there is that. Anyway,
There is that, yeah. They were the ones. Anyway, that's all
One-
just in the past. It's all Formula One.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
no. I just want to say, 104 days till next season starts. I'm
Nice.
counting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 12 o'clock. Nice. I can't wait. 24 races next year. So you'll have our glorious company 24 times next year.
Wow.
Fantastic. Hopefully my
Yeah.
internet won't be as... well,
that
I'm
including-
actually getting sponsorship from a Formula One team. So
Does that include the
Okay.
Chinese Grand Prix, the 24? Because I believe it's cancelled.
good point. I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's either 24
Which is a
or
crying
or
shame
not.
because the Chinese track is a fucking amazing track. Just got to say that it's a really good track to race on. And so yeah, as usual, like they take the money, they don't give a fuck about how good the track is, Hence
Yeah,
we're going to Las
they're
Vegas.
running. They're running on the Great Wall of China, I've heard. So that's the Chinese track. There's gonna be a rally, format, but yeah, they're running on the Great Wall of China. Good luck with porpoising over there.
Ah, yeah, that as well. Yeah. I mean, fucking Grand Force. I'm going to call it Grand Force now, just because I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
But
Still
fucking
remember
Grand
her name.
Force. Let's get rid of it again. Oh my god. Right. We got all these artificial ways of overtaking. All right. And yet, which year was it? 2014, where they were getting like 70 overtakes in a race because of the way they'd reduced the size of the rear wing and they'd raised the height of the rear wing and.
That is the way to go. I mean, I've been saying that for 10 years now. The way to
8
go
years at least,
is to reduce the wings and have mechanical
grip. Yeah.
ground. I would say a mechanical grip, not aero grip.
Yeah.
That is the way. But yeah,
We did it. Bernie managed to get it through. It was really successful, and that lasted all of 2 seasons, maybe tops. Yeah, 2 seasons. I think that lasted before all the teams went. Oh yeah, but you know. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to go back and rewatch those seasons, and I would suggest everybody else do the same, just for the reminder of the good old days. V8
Good old days.
engines as well, I think, was it? So 2014, not certain, but yeah, there you go. Also, I love to comment Lewis made of Alonso driving past in a V10. Right?
yeah.
And he stopped the interview and went, "Oh, fantastic! Oh, just halfway through." Made me laugh. Anyway, look, thank you very much, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to finish with?
No, I'm super
Predictions for
good.
next year. We'll have a preview show and we'll do predictions for next year.
Yeah.
We've got 3 American races to look forward to next year. That's something we can all be delighted and happy about.
No, we can't.
3
Las Vegas is going to be boring as shit.
3 American races. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the US. There might be a gun massacre, so you never know.
that might make them drive a little faster.
Yeah. Oh, there is one thing which is never going to happen in the US. Something like what happened in Silverstone. You know, people getting in the track because they can't get there fast enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If they do, there'll be a bloodbath. Anyway, there you go. Another Miami with that Mickey Mouse fucking chicane in it. Oh my God, people, can't they learn?
Along with new track, there's rumours of a new team for next year, but only for wet races. Burton Marlander is going to be entering team safety car.
Yeah.
Team safety car, yeah. Good chance for a win or two, I think.
Only when it's raining, of course.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much for being with us. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your comments as well, because that makes the show go a lot easier for us that don't have any content. And we'll look forward to seeing you for a preview show. If you want to come on the preview show, Bob, please let me know, and we'll stick a link in when we actually do the show, because I think it'd be good to get everybody in to say a comment or two and give their predictions about next year. So we'd really love to hear from you. If you want to come in, then please do. And again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lucky, for doing the second half of this season. Hopefully you'll be with us for many more, especially next year, when everything should close up and we should get a more exciting season than we've had this year.
Well, yeah, let's hope it's less of a runaway train for Red Bull next year. We can look forward to that, hopefully. But
indeed,
thanks for having me, guys. It was a pleasure as always.
Thank you. I mean, again, thank you. You kind of saved us from whatever you saved us from. Thank you, Fabio. A disappointing year. Do you want to just say something about Ferrari to end on?
No, I mean, again, you got to
Hope
see
springs
the
eternal,
glass.
something like that.
Say what?
Yeah, you were going to do it. You were going to do it. Hope springs eternal. But yeah, you were going to say glass. So, oops, I cut you too quick. Go ahead.
The glass half full shit. Again, I think that we got to be objective and remember where the fuck they were coming from last season. And I mean, of course, the disappointment is big because of the first part of the season, but I mean, again, second place in the constructor, second place in the World Championship. I mean, it's better than third or fourth. So I would say that, and we'll see what happens next year.
They did say, I mean, Binotto said at the beginning of the year, we're not really aiming for the championship this year. We just want to be competitive, and I think they did that at various points during the year. So cross fingers, next year will be the year, and hopefully it'll all be a lot closer. It looks like Mercedes are going to be a bit closer as well. So you never know. It could be season to end all seasons. A man for all seasons. Oh no,
Wow.
that's a different thing altogether. But there
We'll
you
see
go.
what happens.
So thank you very much indeed. And yeah, we'll see everybody in 105, 6, 7, 8 days, something like that, and for the next show.
Yeah.
Although we'll see everybody before then, actually. Let's get
Yes.
together for the practice, right?
Mhm.
Just after the practice happens, we'll do a review show or a preview show of the season. And as I say, everybody's welcome to join if you come to that show. I'll be putting the link in the side chat for everybody. And it'd be great to hear from you all. So I'm going to play you out now with our fantastic outro. A big shout out to Geo Sam for the intro and outros that we're doing and our graphics in general. So that's much appreciated. And yeah, maybe next year we'll even get new graphics. Who knows? Shall we splash
Who
out?
knows?
Who knows? It's just
Who
another
knows?
mystery in Formula One. I'm contacting Adrian Newey to try and get the design sorted. And
Did you
yeah,
tell the
you never
FIA
know.
to see if this is legal?
I'm not going to bother with that. Let's just put
All
it
right.
on the car and see if it works first.
Sure.
There you go. Okay, thanks,
Don't,
everyone.
don't worry, Ferrari will protest it if there's anything untoward.
Yeah, like they would. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. We'll see.
More like
Go ahead,
Toto
Fabio.
Wolff would protest. More like Toto
Toto
Wolff
Wolff.
would protest it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
I've
a
got to
Ferrari
say,
fan would say that.
yeah, I've got to say also, I'm really happy this year with the memes, the thumbnail memes that have been going on as well. So just a special. It's been a good year for me just for that reason. The Clujo one was spectacular. Anyway, there you go. Almost as good as my Kurt Russell signs for Mercedes. And we should do a review of my memes. We'll have a guess as to which fucking Grand Prix they come from.
Oh.
Anyway, there you go.
I'm going with Miami. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh yes, that was a good one as well. Yeah. Okay, thanks very much, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.
Take care,
Ciao,
guys.
ciao.